Good afternoon. Welcome back. I know everybody is so energized from this morning's session, and it's my great pleasure this afternoon to tell you about the recipient of our Visionary Leadership Award. As many of you know or will hear momentarily, Christy has been absolutely at the forefront in the truest definition of a visionary, thinking about wellness, thinking about advancing equity for women scientists. You'll hear more about in pediatric rheumatology, as well as everything that we now know and love about MCHRI really is directly a result of Christy's vision. So we are going to start from the beginning. Okay, Christy. Christy received her medical degree at UCLA and completed her internship, residency, and rheumatology fellowship of Children's Hospital Los Angeles. When she was a medical student, she did an elective in pediatric endocrinology where she met Bruce, and they've been together for 45 years. Then, after completing her fellowship, she joined the faculty in the Department of Pediatrics at UC Irvine and the Children's Hospital of Orange County. She developed the pediatric rheumatology program there, serving as the director of the Division of Pediatric Rheumatology and Rehabilitation for 15 years. She spent the majority of her effort there on research on new proteins called cytokines, mainly IL-1, and one of the first descriptions of an IL-1 inhibitor in autoimmune diseases and HIV. She was the PI of an NIH-R01 entitled Role of Monokines in B-cell Abnormalities in AIDS, as well as multiple foundation grants. Looking back no further than the 1990s, there was a vast unmet need in treating oftentimes wheelchair-bound children with arthritis and other rheumatic and related autoimmune diseases. And so in 1997, with the recognition that biologics were showing great promise as treatment for adults with arthritis, she moved here to Stanford, to our great good fortune, to have more opportunities to participate in clinical research and trials and to build the pediatric rheumatology program here. She continued to lead a strong research program with studies on cytokine balance and JRA subtypes and determinants of susceptibility and severity in systemic onset JRA. During the pediatric rheumatology meetings earlier this year, Christy recounted her earlier frustrations. It's amazing what you can find on the web. I found this quote. When I came to Stanford in 1997, I had done research on cytokines and cytokine inhibitors. I knew there were amazing new biologic medicines coming down the pike called TNF inhibitors that were being tested in adults. I thought these treatments would be transformational, perhaps in kids with arthritis, and in fact they were, which was exciting enough. But I recognized that we had only so many pediatric rheumatologists, only so many pediatric rheumatologists in the nation, with fewer than half of these children being taken care of by a pediatric rheumatologist. And so within a few short years, she established the Pediatric Rheumatology Fellowship at Stanford. She recruited one fellow yearly until 2006, when she expanded the program to 2 fellows per year, built the fellowship program and division to its current state with 5 pediatric rheum fellows and 6 board-certified pediatric rheumatologists here at Stanford, all trained by Christy. This is a photo from 2007. As well as many pediatric rheumatologists who have graduated and spread out across the United States. During her tenure as chief of the division of pediatric rheumatology here, she was the PI of an NIH T32 in pediatric and adult rheumatology and immunology. All right, then she turned her attention to the challenges of doing clinical research in rare diseases and began to work with her colleague Betsy Mellons, who had come to Stanford a year earlier. In 2000, Christy and Betsy hosted a meeting. The CARA website says it was in Palo Alto. I assume it was here. Held a meeting of a small group of pediatric rheumatologists and proposed a network. And shortly thereafter, they co-founded the Children's Arthritis and Rheumatology Research Alliance, CARA, and Christy served as the chair from 2003 to 2007. Now, I'm actually very well versed in CARA, and the reason I'm so well versed in CARA is I was on the council for the American Society of Pediatric Nephrology, and I said, we've got to stop complaining that we're a small subspecialty in a rare disease. Look what CARA is doing. And we actually brought CARA to our council. Let me tell you a little bit about what CARA is now as something that started with just a glimmer in Betsy and Christy's eyes. So it was a very unique, groundbreaking research alliance. It was formed by bringing together pediatric rheumatologists across the US and Canada to conduct multi-center collaborative studies that translate to disease prevention, treatment, and possibly cures. It was the first of its kind. hence the Visionary Leadership Award, the first of its kind group focused on investigating methods to improve quality of life in children and promote a culture where all children can participate in research protocols. There are now 550 pediatric rheumatologists, researchers, and research coordinators in CARA at more than 110 sites, which includes 95% of all pediatric rheumatologists in North America. More than 20,000 patients have participated in CARA trials, registries, and other research studies. CARA has several NIH-funded grants, including randomized controlled trials in the areas of lupus, dermatomyositis, uveitis, polyarticular JIA, and systemic JIA. Christy was the co-PI for the first multi-center CARA trial, comparing the efficacy and safety of atorvastatin in preventing progression of atherosclerosis in pediatric systemic lupus erythematosus. This study was the first investigator-initiated multi-center study in pediatric lupus. She also was the PI of an NIH or NIAMS RC2 grant entitled Accelerating Towards an Evidence-Based Culture in Pediatric Rheumatology. What a title. This multi-center CARA research infrastructure grant was funded in 2009 to design the database architecture and to support a patient registry in pediatric rheumatic diseases with flexibility and scalability to scale to support translational research and clinical trials. CARA is a very successful enterprise. It is the gold standard for all of us in pediatric subspecialties, and it's now a $12 million enterprise. Christy chairs the CARA board of directors. The biggest lessons from CARA multi-center studies was that institutional research infrastructure for rare diseases and small divisions is not adequate. There are so many more lessons learned from CARA, how you do clinical practice guidelines, how you work with industry, how you work with foundations. So I encourage you to learn more about that. All right, so this picture starts the story of MCHRI. And Mary, I asked Mary, do you have any pictures of you and Christy together? And she said, no, we were too busy doing the work to take any pictures. So let's talk about Christy's vision for the Child Health Research Program. So in 2005, she started the Childhood Health Research Program, or CHIRP, at Stanford. The mission was to increase the scientific quantity and quality of clinical research in child health. The program offered shared research coordinators, pilot grants, mentoring for child health researchers. It was launched with a commitment from Chris Dawes, the CEO of the Children's Hospital at that time, a commitment to Christy for $150,000 to hire a clinical research administrator for the pediatric research program. This led to Mary Chen's hire in 2006. The program was further supported by Harvey Cohen, the chair at the time, with another $150,000, and the Foundation's Children's Fund for a clinical research course and a pediatric mentoring program. That clinical research course is now what is known and loved as ICHR, the Intensive Course in Clinical Research across the entire School of Medicine. And that pediatric mentoring program is the one that Laura Bachrach and many faculty lead that provides mentoring and coaching to just huge numbers of pediatric faculty. So incredible to really understand the origins of those programs that we take for granted. And as I mentioned, the clinical research course for ICHR. So this is what Mary Chen said about Christy. Christy hired me in 2006 to manage the Child Health Research Program, a new departmental program serving investigators by providing mentoring, seed grants, and research personnel. From the start, I found her approach to solving problems refreshing. She considered my suggestions from the program for day one during my interview. That was the beginning of a wonderful partnership with an exceptionally strong physician leader. The 2006 program, Christy envisioned, provided the foundational elements of MCHRI operations today. What she unleashed was the potential she saw in people like me and Mary, the trust she has in others translated to great outcomes beyond what she can achieve alone. This is a testament to a great leader. In Christy, I see a lifelong colleague, model, and mentor. I will say when I first met Mary, we met for lunch at the Pediatric Academic Society meetings. Mary, I think it was literally a 3-hour lunch. I think that's what it was. So let's fast forward 16 years to 2022. The Corps of Research Coordinators has quadrupled. The mentoring program for junior faculty continues to serve as a model for many Stanford departments. And these few pilot grants have grown into a portfolio of more than 20 different funding programs now run by MCHRI. And really, what Christy launched was all the core elements of MCHRI. All right, Christy has also been a visionary leader in other important ways. Well before Tate Shannonfeld was here, she chaired the Dean's Task Force on Physician Wellness. and which I think culminated in that position. And she continues to serve on the Well MD Advisory Committee. She published a manuscript with Tate entitled Building a Program on Well-Being, Key Design Considerations to Meet the Unique Needs of Each Organization, was published in Academic Medicine. She also has a very, very long and distinguished history as an advocate for the advancement of women in medicine. In the past, she worked with the Senior Associate Dean for Diversity and Faculty Development, at that time, Hannah Valentine, on a project to help the advancement of women physician scientists to faculty positions. And as part of that work, Hannah and Christy were awarded an NIH Pathfinder grant entitled Eradicating Stereotype Threat, Intervening to Retain and Advance Women Faculty. More recently, she co-chaired the Office of Faculty Development and Diversity Task Force to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on Stanford medicine women faculty. That document, which was just presented to all the clinical and basic science department chairs a few months ago, is now the roadmap that we are all following. An incredibly, beautifully evidence-based, it's a wonderful roadmap as we move forward thinking about the impact of COVID on women. Christy has won many awards over her career, including the American Academy of Pediatrics James T. Cassidy Award, the American College of Rheumatology Distinguished Service Award, and the American College of Rheumatology Master in Rheumatology Award. On behalf of the entire maternal and child health community, I am delighted to add the MCHRI Visionary Leadership Award to her many honors. Oh, here we go. There we go. There you go. Did you want to say? I'll hold on to this. Yeah.
I just, I'm not going to say a lot because I'm kind of speechless. I know it's amazing to hear me be speechless, but I am so humbled and honored. And your words, Mary, are amazing. I was just so amazed, and I'm so glad my husband videotaped it all. So I just want to thank you and thank everybody in this room. This is a village. My rheumatology colleagues are here, my Department of Peds colleagues, family-centered care, it's just really wonderful to see you all here. And I'm just overwhelmed. Thank you.
Congratulations.